Hello, Brits. We're sorry for those technical malfunctions. Our live stream did cut out, but if you go to gobrits.com and look up the swimming page, you will find a new link that will direct you to YouTube, which has a new live stream link that is working perfectly. Please log back on. We would love to have you guys come back for the second half of the meet. Right now, the women's team is getting a little bit of extra warm-up in before we start the second half of the meet. Please stay tuned. we're back. It looks like warm-ups are about to end. And also, if you at first cannot find the link, you can also go to gobrits.com and click on calendar. And the basketball team has a game today that is live streamed, and we do. So those are the only two streams that you should be able to find, and it should work from there. Thank you. The next event will be the women's 100-yard freestyle in Heat 1 of 2. We have Sarah Griffiths from Albion. She will not be swimming a 100-yard freestyle, though. It appears she will be swimming a 100-yard backstroke. Very strong as she's about to finish up the first 50 of the 100-yard backstroke. Good turn. Good underwaters, far out past the flags. Sarah finishes up a very strong 100-yard backstroke. The results for the women's 100-yard breaststroke that happened earlier today. Amani Lopez in first with a 1:26.41. Aaron Saunders of Olivet with a 1:27.39. About to start the second heat of the women's 100-yard freestyle. The results for the women's 200-yard fly. In first, Sarah Griffiths with a 2:11.11. Second place, Angela McCauley with a 2:24.63. Bryn Kavanaugh with a time of 2:25.77. In fourth place, with a time of 2:37.81, we have Katie Flynn. In fifth, Olivia Martinez with a 2:37.98. The women are in the back half of the women's 100-yard freestyle right now. Emily Snyder is in commanding lead as she goes into the third wall. The entire participants for this event: Aaron Saunders of Olivet in lane 1, Ashley Ketchum in lane 2, Kia Coons, lane 3, Emily Snyder, lane 4, Jasmine Vanetti in lane 5, and Elena Hackman in lane 6. Emily Snyder wins the race. Ashley Ketchum in second. Elena Hackman in third. And finishing up the group, Aaron Saunders. Good work, everybody. is the women's 200-yard backstroke. In heat 1 of 1, we have Emily Marucci in lane 4 and Amani Lopez in lane 5. Marucci with some great underwaters off of that third wall. She's about finished with her first half of the 200-yard backstroke. Amani also just went into the third wall. Emily is looking very strong as she finishes out that first half. Into the third 50, the hardest 50 of the 200-yard backstroke. Amani flips at the 100. Now she's also into the third 50 of the 200-yard backstroke. Emily Marucci into the last 50 of the 200-yard backstroker, looking very, very strong as she flips at the last wall, headed for home. Amani Lopez flips at the 150, and she is also now in the home stretch. Emily Marucci with a very solid showing in the 200-yard backstroke. She has to be happy with that race. Go Brits! Amani Lopez on her last length of the 200-yard backstroke. Amani Lopez finishes the 200-yard backstroke. Go Brits. We love Albion College. Next event of the morning will be the women's 200-yard breaststroke. Heat 1 of 1 will be Katie Henning of Albion College. Results for the 200-yard backstroke will be up shortly. The results for the women's 100-yard freestyle. In first place, Emily Snyder with a 58.4. In second place, from Olivet, Kia Coons, a 1 minute .8. In third place, Ashley Ketchum with a 101.05. In fourth place, Elena Hackman of Albion College with a 101.64. In fifth place, Sarah Griffiths with a 102.78. In Sixth place from Olivet, Jasmine Vanetti with a 104.53. Place 7 from Olivet, Aaron Saunders with a 112.15. And in the 200-yard backstroke, the results are Emily Marucci of Albion College with a 216.2 and Amani Dunlap Lopez with a 241.21. You rock. Katie Hennings looking very strong in her 200-yard breaststroke. Hennings with a great finish in her 200-yard breaststroke. Very nicely done. Next up, we have the women's 500-yard freestyle. In heat 1 of 1, in lane 1, we have Carly Wheeler of Olivet. In lane 2, we have Emma Frame of Albion. In lane 3, we have Kinsley Noel from Olivet. In lane 4, we have Bryn Kavanaugh of Albion. In lane 5, we have Sarah LaFoe from Olivet. In lane 6, we have Olivia Martinez of Albion College. Go Brits. And they are off in the women's 500-yard freestyle. It looks like Bryn Kavanaugh takes a commanding lead right from the start with a very quick start. Kavanaugh continues to increase that lead on the field. Not far behind, though, is Kinsey Noel, who won the 1650 earlier this morning. The rest of the field is a very close swim for second place as of now. Enough diving already. We have the 3-meter diving starting shortly with Justin Huttenlocker ready to just amaze us with his wonderful diving abilities. With a very nice first dive, scoring a 5.6, 5.5. Bryn Kavanaugh continues to increase her lead on the field, looking very strong. 175 yards into this race. On Chronic with a nice first dive of 5.6, 5.5. Next up to dive is Sarah Stone. At the halfway mark, Bryn Kavanaugh is in commanding lead of the 500-yard freestyle. Not far behind, you have Kinsey Noel in second, and a very close race for third place between Emma Frame and Olivia Martinez. Alyssa with her first dive of the morning at 3 meters. She scores a 4.5, 4.5, 3.5. Bryn Kavanaugh looks like she's in cruising mode at this point. Crushing it. Kinsey Noel still in second place. There is still a very close race for third place between Emma Frame and Olivia Martinez. Next up to dive is Erin Lathrop. Erin with a very nice first dive, scoring a 3, 4, 5. With her first dive at 3 meter this morning. Very nice dive. Very little splash. The results are 3.5, 4, and 5. As the buzzer sounds, Bryn Kavanaugh has 50 yards left in her 500-yard freestyle. Looking very, very good. MIAA Championships, here we come. Bryn Kavanaugh finished these 500-yard freestyle very impressively. Times are still to come. It looks like in second place, Kinsey Noel will be coming in very shortly. It looks like Olivia Martinez has come a little bit through and going to get third place. Fourth place will go to Emma Frame. Fifth and sixth are still to be decided. Kavanaugh with a 5:30, as I just heard that from Coach Stone down on the pool deck. Other times to come. Laura just came in the 500-yard freestyle. Not far behind, we have Carly Wheeler. Results for the women's 200-yard breaststroke. Katie Henning with a time of 2:40.57. Finishes up her 500-yard freestyle. Very nicely done, ladies. All right, I need all of your attentions. I have heard that Sage Gettings is going for a pool record in the women's 100-yard butterfly coming up. Stay tuned. John Cronick is up to dive next. With a 4:03.C. On with just another exquisite dive, just fabulous work. 5.6.6 the scores. Sarah Stone diving right now, up in the air, and the scores are 4.4.5. The lane assignments for the women's 100-yard freestyle. In heat 1 of 1, in lane 2, we have Katie Hennings. In lane 3, we have Kayla Etaker from Olivet. In lane 4, we have Sage Gettings of Albion. In lane 5, we have Erin Saunders of Olivet. In lane 6, we have Elizabeth Cavatayo. Things are transfer from Northern Michigan, the freshman phenom. She is out in front of the field already at the 40-yard mark. She's crushing it. Let's see if she gets this pool record. Coming into the last wall, and now the last 25. The Holland, Michigan product is looking phenomenal. She's looking very strong as she finishes this race in the 100-yard butterfly. Great work, ladies. Saunders finishing up her 100-yard butterfly for Olivet. Next up to dive for the Brits is Lindsay. A very nice dive by Lindsay. The scores are 6.5, 6, 5.5. With a 57.4 has a new pool record. Very nicely done, Sage. winning the women's 500-yard freestyle, Bryn Kavanaugh, with a time of 5:30. The rest of the times on Meet Mobile do not seem to be correct, so we will be getting you those results later. Thank you. For the women's 100-yard fly, in first place, Sage Gettings with a 57.45, a new pool record. In second place, Kayla Etaker, 104.84 from Olivet. In third place, Elizabeth Cavataro with a 106.87. In fourth place, Katie Henning with a 107.53. And in fifth place, Aaron Saunders of Olivet with a 120.82. Those results may not be completely correct, though, on Meet Mobile.
Katie Henning was in lane 2.
Alyssa Myers with her dive. She scores a 2, 3, 2.5. Next up to dive is Aaron Lanthrop. And with a very nice dive, she scores 3, 4, 3.5. Next up to dive is Lindsay. Lindsay's scores are 4, 3.5, 3.5. Justin Huttenlocker, oh man, he's up next. Let's see what this guy can do. Justin, he's walking up. He's leaping. He's jumping. He's diving. And the scores are 5, 5, 4. Is John Kronick. Never saw a diving board until he came to Albion College. He grew up in the northern part of Michigan, in the UP, Escanaba to be exact.
You should go down.
Chronic with a fabulous dive. A little bit of a splash, I will not lie to you, but he scores a 4, 5.5, 5. Alyssa Myers up next to dive.
Caleb, are you hungry?
Off, and the scores are 3s across the board. Diving right now is Aaron Lathrop, and the scores are 3.5, 4.5, 5. Next up, we have Justin Huttenlocker, my roommate. He looks a little nervous, but I'm sure he's going to do a great job. All right, he's got his arms out. He's bouncing. And he's up in the air. And I heard very little splash. The results are 6, 6, 6. What a dive. John Chronic up next. Let's see what he has in store for us. Chronic as he walks up to the board. I can hear the board. I did hear a little bit of a splash. 5.5, 4.5, 4. Sarah Stone with another nice dive. She scores a 4.5, 5, 5. Alyssa Myers up diving right now. And she leaps. And a nice dive. The scores are 3, 3, 3.5. Thrupp up next to dive. The results are in. 5, 5, 4. Asked to leave the pool at this time. The events coming up next are the women's 400-yard IM, and then the closing event, the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. Lindsay diving right now. She scores a 4, 4, 3. We have Justin Huttenlocker up again. Let's see what he has in store. Looks a little nervous again. He's walking. He's walking. He's leaping. He's diving. And the scores are 5.5, 5.5, 5. Starting the women's 400-yard IM, heat 1 of 1, we have Katie Flynn in lane 2, Jennifer Mann of Olivet in lane 3, and Angela McCulley in lane 4. John Cronick with a very nice dive to finish out his day. A 6.5, 5, 5.5. The 50-yard mark in the 400-yard IM. Angela McCulley and Jennifer Mann are very close, neck and neck race. Katie Flynn not far behind. Sarah Stone just is diving off the board as we speak. And the results are in as 2, 4, 2.5. Excuse me, a 2. Angela McCulley falling just a little bit behind Mann right now as they go into the backstroke leg. Myers with a very nice dive. She scores a 4.5, a 4, a 4. Angela McCulley has come back on the backstroke leg just a little bit on Mann, and they look just about neck and neck, swimming stroke for stroke right now as they go into the second 50 of the 100-yard backstroke of the 4IM. Katie Flynn not far behind as she goes into her second 50 of the 100-yard backstroke in the 400 IM. Aaron with a score of 2.5, 2.5, 3. It appears that Angela McCulley has fallen slightly behind in the last leg of the 100-yard backstroke, but that is an okay thing because her best event is, her best stroke is the breaststroke. Let's see if Mann has anything in store for her. taking a little bit of a lead over McCulley as they go into the second 50 of the breaststroke leg. Flynn about to finish the first 50 of a 100 breaststroke in the 400 IM leg. Concludes, we have Angela McCulley in second place with Mann taking a commanding lead in the 400-yard IM. Katie Flynn not far behind, finishing up her breaststroke leg, about to go on to the freestyle leg. McCulley looking strong as she starts her freestyle leg. She goes into the first turn, a little bit long, but not a bad turn. Good kicks off the wall. The women finish up the 400-yard IM. I will announce the orders of the individuals swimming the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. The A relay for Albion College is Sage Gettings, Emily Snyder, Sarah Griffiths, and Hannah Erickson. In the B relay, Emily Marucci, Bryn Kavanaugh, Ashley Ketchum, and Emma Hennings. In the C relay, we have Katie Hennings, Elizabeth Cavatayo, Olivia Martinez, and Amani Lopez. They will be swimming in lanes 1, 2, and 4. In lane 3, the Olivet women will be swimming, and in lane 5. The results for the women's 400-yard IM. In first place, Jennifer Mann of Olivet with a 4:52.66. In second place, Angela McCulley with a 5:04.32. In third, Katie Flynn with a time of 5:28.8. Off in the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. Sage Gettings out to a good lead in that first 25. Not far behind are all the rest of the relays. It's a very close race for second as of now. Next up for the women's A relay for Albion is Emily Snyder, and she is off. Bryn Kavanaugh in the water, and Elizabeth Cavatayo. Next up on the blocks for the Britain women is Sarah Griffiths for the A relay, Ashley Ketchum for the B, and Olivia Martinez for the C relay. Sarah and Ashley in the water off to a fast start. Olivia, not far behind them. Hannah Erickson about ready to finish off this relay for the Britain women. Good start. Ashley Ketchum finishes up. Emma Hennings is in the water. Amani Lopez about to start her leg. Good work, Britt, so far. With a great finish for the Britain women. Emma Hennings not far behind. Amani Lopez up next. Olivet women's team came in third. And Albion's C Relay came in fourth. Finishing up their race is the Olivet B team. Times will come shortly via Meet Mobile. And the Olivet women have finished their race, and that concludes our meet for the women. The men's team will have their meet beginning right around 2:30-ish. We begin warm-up at around 1 o'clock. Thank you.